Coober Pedy is a town in northern South Australia. It is also known as the opal capital of the world because of the quantity of precious opals found in the area. Hey, I'm Percy from Percy and Janisha's Cutie channel, and today I'll be talking about Coober Pedy, a city where people live underground. No more. Continue the video. Centuries ago, some people lived underground to cope up with the challenging climatic conditions. But the idea was not widely accepted, considering the recent environmental changes due to global warming and climate change. It would not be too far to say that underground living will become as a sustainable living option. Opal mining Opal mining in Australia began in 80s, but the commercial value of the opals grew in 90s. Australia became one of the world's largest producers of opal and still produces 95% of the opals used in jewelry and accessories. Like these are the minings which are done in the Australia. Now, what's inside an opal? An opal has amorphous cilia and water. As you guys can see, this part is cilia and it is contained water, which makes it multicolored and patterned. It is used in jewelries, it is used in precious ornaments and jewelries. Like as you can see, it's a ring and it has a beautiful opal. Now, opal mining is big in three states, in Australia, Queensland, New South Wales, and South Australia. But the largest producer is Coober Pedy. Coober Pedy is the town claiming the title of opal capital of the world, situated in Stuart Range, South Australia. It is it has the largest opal fields and productions and the produces the bulk of all white opals. Additionally, the town is one of the most interesting mining sites the world has seen. Coober Pedy is known as underground habitat, as most of its population lives under the ground in the mine sites. Like as you guys can see, these are one of the caves. These are the caves in Coober Pedy. Opal hunters made their way to Coober Pedy and adapted to live underground in so-called dugouts. In the favorable temperatures of 23 degrees Celsius to 25 degrees Celsius. Regardless of the conditions above the ground, no building materials were used to build these underground homes. And this form of sustainable living still prevails in Coober Pedy. In Coober Pedy, they had built one of the most touristic attraction and because the underground cave contains movie theaters, museums, churches, and hotels, serving full cross section of underground life. But this is not the case around 100 years ago when Coober Pedy was a ghost town. It was considered a ghost town because of its spooky vibes. With no hotels or government buildings, Coober Pedy was one of only had barren land of opal mining fields. In contrast, the current modern town has all the amenities and regulations to foster a safer environment for people to live in, particularly as most of the Did you know a 14-year-old boy discovered opals in Kubarpedi? While Australia's Aboriginal people have inhabited Coober Pedy for countless centuries, miners first discovered opals in the regions of 1916. Opal was founded in 1915 by a teenager boy of 14 years who, according to Liv Lore, was on a school excursion when he accidentally discovered a stone that would inspire generations of would be miners. Construction workers and soldiers from the First World War followed others to the opal fields. They were followed by plummeting opal prices during the Great Depression in 1930s and 1940s. When the production was forced to shut down, an Aboriginal woman, Tottie Bryant, made a historical find of many more opal fields at the 8 Mile field in 1946. In earlier days, opal was usually mined by two or more people sinking in a vertical shaft, tunning and following the opal level using the shovels and picks. However, since the 1970s, the use of mining has rapidly increased in the area. Since the discovery of opals in Australia, its mining industry has expanded rapidly all over the world. Many migrants came to seek their fortunes. The late 1960s was the start of the growth in Coober Pedy, due in the part to a greater demand for opal, but also to influx of many European migrants with the dream of making their fortune. It was the beginning of mechanization on the fields as well, which continued unbattered through the 70s, 1970s, 80s, and 90s, resulting the opal mining developing into a multi-millionaire industry, dollar industry. Kubarpedi became a modern mining town. Kubarpedi came from Aboriginal word Kupa Piti, which roughly translates to white man's in whole, white man in whole. Summer temperature in Coober Pedy reaches the average high of 36.7 degrees in summer, with the average lows of 6.4 degrees Celsius in winter. The caves insulate against their variation, providing more temperate heat year around. So, these were the people. And do you want to know about the water supply? Well, let me tell you about the water supply. Coober Pedy produces and reticulates its own water. The water is bought it from a bore 25 kilometers northeast of Coober Pedy on the Ordnadeta road via a pipeline. Like, as you guys can see, it looks more like a petroleum bunk, but it isn't a petroleum bunk. It is where people used to collect water. The water is then processed through a desalination, reverse, or osmosis plant. So, this was about the project. Thank you. Bye. See you in the next video.